When we talk about military technology, most people imagine tanks, fighter jets, and missiles. But in reality, modern military innovation is about far more than hardware. It's about systems thinking, information dominance, and neurotechnology. And India, right now, is positioning itself not just to catch up, but to leap 10 years ahead. How is that possible? Let's break this down scientifically and strategically. In neuroscience, we know the human brain achieves higher order performance by integrating multiple systems: vision, motor control, memory. Similarly, India's defense ecosystem isn't relying on any single technology. Instead, it's focusing on convergence. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, hypersonic weapons, and space-based systems are all being developed in parallel. Take AI-driven warfare. India's DRDO Defense Research and Development Organization is working on autonomous drones and real-time data analytics platforms that can process battlefield information faster than any human. Why does that matter? Because in the brain, speed of processing determines survival. In combat, milliseconds can decide outcomes. This systems-level integration is what makes India's approach a decade ahead. While other nations are locked in upgrading their current arsenal, India is building for the battlefield of 2035, not 2025. Here's something few people talk about. Future wars won't only be about machines, they'll be about enhancing human operators. India's armed forces are experimenting with technologies inspired by neuroscience: exoskeletons to reduce fatigue, brain computer interfaces to improve reaction times, and even cognitive resilience training for soldiers under extreme stress. Think about this from a biological perspective. Stress impairs prefrontal cortex function, leading to poor decision making. But with these enhancements, soldiers can maintain high cognitive flexibility and emotional regulation even in chaotic environments. This isn't science fiction. It's the same principle as neuroplasticity. Just as we train our brains to adapt, India is training its defense systems and personnel to adapt faster than any opponent. We've entered an era where space and cyberspace are just as critical as land, sea, and air. India's launch of the ASAT anti-satellite weapons system in 2019 wasn't just a test. It was a declaration that it can protect its assets and disable enemy systems in orbit. From a Huberman-style lens, think of this like a neural network defending itself from external attacks. Just as the brain uses glial cells to detect and respond to pathogens, India's defense infrastructure is developing cyber-immune systems AI-powered protocols that identify and neutralize threats before they spread. In cybersecurity, offensive and defensive AI tools are learning in real time. This gives India the ability to disrupt adversary communications while simultaneously shielding its own networks with quantum encryption, effectively making them unhackable. This isn't about raw firepower, it's about agility, resilience, and predictive capability. Just like the brain's predictive coding allows you to anticipate events before they happen, India's military tech is being designed to outthink, outpace, and outmaneuver adversaries. While other nations iterate on legacy systems, India is developing adaptive systems, just as the most advanced neural networks adapt to new inputs. This isn't a small gap, it's a paradigm shift. What can we learn from this as individuals? The same principles apply to your own growth. Focus on conversion, integrate multiple skills, train under stress, because resilience isn't built in comfort, and think 10 years ahead, not just about what's urgent today, but what will define success a decade from now. India's military tech isn't just about dominance, it's about vision, and if you apply the same systems, thinking to your own life, you'll find yourself not just keeping up, but leading. When we look at how the brain achieves peak performance, it's not by strengthening just one area. It's by integrating multiple systems: vision, auditory processing, motor response, and memory, all working together seamlessly. This is exactly what India's defense technology strategy is doing. Instead of fixating on incremental improvement, adding more tanks, faster jets, or bigger ships, they're converging multiple disruptive technologies to create a leap in capability. Artificial intelligence AI, quantum computing, hypersonic weapons, and space systems are not being developed in silos. They're being designed to operate in a fully integrated ecosystem. Think of AI-driven warfare platforms. These are systems capable of processing battlefield data in milliseconds, faster than any human could. Imagine autonomous drones, self-learning algorithms predicting enemy movements, and AI-enhanced decision support for commanders. This is cognitive augmentation at the scale of a nation's defense. Quantum computing is the next layer. In neuroscience, speed of synaptic transmission determines how fast you can adapt. In defense, quantum processors could calculate multiple outcomes simultaneously, enabling real-time strategic prediction. This isn't just faster computing. It's a fundamentally new way of processing information. Meanwhile, hypersonic weapons, traveling at over Mach 5, present challenges for traditional radar and interception systems. India's investments here are aimed at both offensive capabilities and defensive countermeasures. The key insight: while most countries are still preparing for today's conflicts, India is building adaptive systems for the battle space of 2035. It's a systems thinking approach that mirrors how the most efficient neural networks in the brain evolve not reactively, but proactively. Future warfare isn't only about machines. It's about enhancing the human brain and body to perform under the most extreme conditions. In neuroscience, we know stress impacts the prefrontal cortex, reducing decision making, situational awareness, and emotional regulation. But with cognitive resilience protocols and brain-computer interfaces, India's military is developing systems to keep soldiers calm and focused in high-pressure scenarios. Consider exoskeletons designed to reduce fatigue during long missions, or brain-computer interfaces allowing faster coordination between thought and action, literally turning a soldier's intent into immediate operational outcomes. Cognitive training programs are also critical. Neuroscience has proven that resilience isn't innate, it's built. Through controlled stress exposure, biofeedback, and neuroplasticity-driven exercises, Indian defense is preparing its personnel to stay sharp even in chaotic environments. This mirrors how elite athletes train their nervous systems for peak performance under pressure. For soldiers, it's about maintaining neural flexibility, switching from high-intensity combat to complex problem-solving in seconds. This combination of human augmentation and technological integration will define the soldier of the future. Just as the brain's plasticity allows humans to adapt to any environment, India is engineering its armed forces to adapt faster than any adversary. The next wars won't just be fought on land, air, or sea. They'll be fought in space and cyberspace, and India is already establishing dominance in both arenas. The ASAT anti-satellite test in 2019 sent a clear message. India has the capability to protect its assets in orbit and neutralize enemy satellites if required. Why does this matter? Because satellites control GPS, communications, and surveillance. Losing them could cripple a modern military. In neuroscience, the brain's glial cells act as its defense network, detecting and neutralizing pathogens before they spread. India's cyber defense works on a similar principle. It's developing AI-powered cyber immune systems capable of identifying threats, learning from them, and neutralizing attacks before they breach critical systems. Even more impressive is the push for quantum encryption, a method of securing communications so advanced it's effectively unhackable. In a world where information warfare can determine the outcome of conflicts, this is like giving your nervous system an impenetrable barrier against toxins. What's critical to understand is this. While other countries are still defending against yesterday's cyber threats, India is preparing for AI-based and quantum, enhanced cyber warfare. This is a decade leap forward, and it will give India a decisive advantage in any future conflict. All of this points to one conclusion. India isn't just upgrading its arsenal, it's redefining warfare. This leap isn't about sheer numbers of ships or planes. It's about agility, resilience, and predictive dominance. It's about designing systems that adapt faster than any adversary, just as a healthy, plastic brain adapts faster to new challenges. And the most fascinating part, these technologies don't just enhance India's defense, they change the very nature of conflict, tipping the balance toward those who can think and move faster. Let's step back. What can you and I learn from India's strategy? Just like in warfare, your success in life isn't determined by brute force. It's determined by integration. Are you building skills and habits that work together, or are you stuck improving one area in isolation? Resilience. Are you training your nervous system to stay calm and effective under stress? Vision. Are you planning only for next year or for the decade ahead? The brain, like a military, is strongest when it anticipates, not reacts. When it prepares for complexity, not simplicity. India's military tech isn't just a story about national defense. It's a blueprint for how to get ahead in any arena, integrate systems, build adaptive capacity, and think further ahead than anyone else. Because in the end, it's not the strongest or the smartest who win, it's those who adapt the fastest.